What's up, everybody? Tindo here. With me, I've got that girl named Hannah. And today we've been thrift shopping. We've been all over town. We went to 3 separate thrift stores on different ends of the town. So we kind of probably did as much driving as we did thrifting. But that's okay. It was worth it because we came home with some pretty awesome stuff. Check this out. The first stop of the day is a Savers, and I want you to notice this Halloween sign on the front of the Savers, okay? Because there's something a bit funny about today. It took me way longer to edit this video this morning than it usually does because there was somebody sitting outside of my window blaring Christmas music over their car stereo, okay? Halloween hasn't happened yet. Halloween is about 6 days away as of filming this, and I'm being interrupted by Christmas music. That's all right. It was just kind of annoying that they were playing it so loud that I couldn't do this voiceover. But it's okay. They're gone now. So let's get back to what really matters. Thrifting. There's a big bunch of games here at this Savers. There's a surprising amount considering that I have come here a few times in a row now that we're back home from our big trip and gotten back into the groove of things. I feel like I've kind of cleaned them out, but they must have restocked for today being that it's the sale day. There's a lot of stuff. Not only was there a lot of stuff that I wanted to get, but there was a huge handful of things I would have got, but like the disc was missing, etc., etc. So there's a bunch of PlayStation 1 games in here, even a handful of them without their manuals/covers. So I don't know if I'm going to buy those. I guess we'll look up what they are. But there's definitely some PlayStation 1 games here I'm going to buy, like these bad boys. This is a computer game, so skip that one. There's quite a few computer games here and regular CD cases to dig through and try to weed out those PlayStation 1 games from. Here's a baseball game that I don't have, so I'll probably go ahead and buy that. It's hard to tell sometimes these double cases will be for 2-disc games, and just as often as not, I think when they have a really large manual, they'll sometimes put the manual in the second case. So I get confused. I've almost not bought a really rare game once because I didn't know that there were circumstances where a single disc would be in a double disc case, but I know now, so I definitely look for those signs. A lot of the times that when that happens, the double disc case, one of the places where the disc goes won't actually have a disc holder. That's kind of the big sign. That means it's just for the manual to go in there. But there's so much stuff here. There's so much stuff that I'm definitely going to have to go consult my spreadsheet and make sure that I don't have some of these things that I'm grabbing. If you're interested in taking a look at what's in my collection, there is a link to my spreadsheet below all my videos, and I try really hard to keep it current, and it is current right now, but there was a couple weeks there where I was behind about 100 games, and it actually messed me up a little bit. I bought a couple doubles, specifically of that baseball game I just bought. This is actually the second time I'm buying it because I looked it up. It wasn't on my sheet, and things are starting to blur together because I buy so many video games. But that's all the video games. Let's go back to the back of the store and check out and see if there's anything in the electronics or anything in the toy sections. The video games are nice and up front in this store, but everything else that I'm interested in is quite literally in the back corners of the store. But there's not looking to be a whole bunch. Sometimes you've really got to dig to find stuff. I know I've looked over this stuff before and been like, oh, there's nothing, and then came back again and there'd be like, oh, there's a GameCube there. And then you never know if you were just dumb and didn't look very well or if they just brought a handful of stuff out. Because the cool thing about Savers on half off day is that they'll constantly restock. They try to make the shopping experience just as good for the people that come in the evening as during the day. So that's pretty interesting. That's good to know. This was really interesting. All these canvases. I do have a pretty big interest in painting. I've never really showed it off on the channel. Lol, large bathtub or baby bathtub, I don't know which. But I do have a big interest in painting, and I have a lot of painting supplies. I've got easels and paints of all different kinds. Most of it, of course, bought in thrifting, and I do paint sometimes, but I don't often have enough canvases to kind of do what I want, and I just saw all those canvases there, and they were really cheap, and I just thought, well, I could paint over those and reuse them, just reuse them, but I'm not gonna buy them. I do buy blank canvases at the bins when I come across them, and that's usually most of the painting I get in. When I find a nice blank canvas at the bins, I'll bring it home and paint something, but it took me a little bit longer than it usually does at a thrift store to really decide what to get because there was some stuff in here I wanted that was missing a disc, like this double disc game, and then there were some games in here for sure that I already had, so I put those back, like that IHRA game. I actually have 2 copies of that, and that one's missing its manual, And this Lord of the Rings game, it turns out I did have. I don't have this Naked Brothers band game, so I'll go ahead and get that bad boy. I couldn't remember if I had this Hoops game, but it didn't matter because it had the disc for something else in it, which is kind of funny, but that does happen quite a bit. And this is why you got to check before you leave the stores. Sometimes I get in a hurry and leave with something with the wrong disc in it, and that always sucks, especially when it's something you really want to play. These PlayStation 1 games were all good, though, so I'm very happy to leave with these. And then there was this baseball game, which I shouldn't have bought, but I did because I'm a big dummy. And then Sonic, this bad boy did not have its disc in it, which is a bummer because that is a Sonic game that I don't have. And here's what I've got it divided into. There's the stuff I'm not going to buy on the left, and then the stuff I will buy on the right. And thankfully, the stack on the right is much taller than the stack on the left. So we're leaving with some video games. And let's eyeball the magazine section real quick before we go. We might find some Game Informers, or we might find some comic books that are worth buying. There were a lot of comic books here, and there often are, but I try not to get into buying comic books because that's just another rabbit hole we don't need to go down on this channel, but, you know, we maybe one day could. But I'm definitely trying not to now because I don't have the space for more comic books.
Pair of Tommy jeans and a dress for me.
You bought yourself something?
Yeah, it's only like $2.
Look at this stack.
Whoa!
First stop down, big stack of games for like 12, 13 bucks. I love half off day at Savers.
It's pretty good.
Now we are going to move on to another Savers. This one is quite far across town from that last one, but it's still on the east side. Whereas there are a couple more Savers way up north and a couple more way west. They are nice and spread out all over town, but we're going to stay on this side of town today. And right off the bat, there are a bunch of Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS games here, and there always are for some reason. And they're always just pretty bad titles, and they don't sell, so they sit here forever. And sometimes I buy them when they bag them all up and sell them all for like $1 or $2, but that's not happening today. But I did spot some interesting stuff behind the lockbox area, and this is a big box of Hero Clicks. Now, guys, comment below if you guys know anything about Hero Clicks or collect them. I know a good deal. I did never play it, so I don't know a lot about the mechanics of the games, just kind of surface area knowledge. But I always did find them really interesting. And I thought about buying this box today and just kind of taking a gamble and see if there was anything good in there, anything with some considerable resale value, and just maybe making a video out of that. But it ended up being $25 after half off day. That was just a little bit more than I was willing to pay. Maybe I'll come back later, and if it's still there, I'll grab it. But I didn't buy it today, so let's move on to the video games. Right off the bat, there's a lot of junk, a lot of stuff that I already have, a lot of stuff that I have no interest looking at. But maybe there will be a jewel or two squeezed in here. There's a lot of loose disc stuff in here today. And strangely enough, after I was done filming, I found a stack of loose discs that were just in jewel cases. Here's a Shrek game. I'm pretty sure I don't have it. And then here's the jewel, some PlayStation 1 games. So I'll put those on my stack. I'm definitely going to buy those. Here's a really rough Naruto game, but it doesn't have its disc. It does have a disc, but I guess it's a double disc. But I already have that one anyways. So let's keep moving. Don't need DJ Hero. Don't need Shaun White snowboarding. I would have bought this game, this Mini Cooper racing game, but it didn't have its disc. Neither did this one. There was a lot of this today. 3 in a row, games I would have bought, no discs. So it's not going to be the greatest day at this Savers, but I am going to be able to leave with a couple PlayStation 1 games. And if you don't see it yet, there's something extra special in the bottom left-hand corner of this shelf. Do you see it yet? Look at it. SWAT, UMD. I already know I'm going to buy it, but I'm just checking the rest of these discs real quick. I'm going to buy that one because the disc is there, finally. The disc is here in this one, but there's no manual, and it's not an expensive game, so I'll wait on that. But SWAT. I love me some PSP UMD discs. I've been buying them up like crazy. This one's no different. I'm definitely going to buy it. If you've watched a lot of my channel, you probably know that I don't buy a ton of toys. This is definitely not so much a toy buying channel. But I do buy the occasional Nerf gun for resale just to recoup some of this money that I spend on video games. And I do buy some random video game related toys like Skylanders and Disney Infinity, of which there were a handful here today, but it was just a little too high. It would have been $3 for that bag, and there's only 1 or 2 in there I didn't have, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that. But I did look through all these messy shelves of toys, and there were a bunch of action figures, none that I was interested in until this Wolverine. And look at that beautiful beautiful toy. I'm definitely buying that. I've got a real soft spot for this era of X-Men, and yeah, that's probably find of the day for me right there. Very happy about that bad boy. But let's move on to the last stop of the day, Deseret Industries. I stop at one of these on almost every video because they're the best thrift stores ever, anywhere. This is a Mormon thrift store. If you didn't know, Deseret, that word, some people always think I'm saying it wrong or spelling it wrong. When I write it down, they think it's desert, but it is Deseret. And if you're watching and you're either Mormon or more knowledgeable about Mormonism and their history than I am, do correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that Deseret is the name of the land that the Mormons migrated to way back in the day, and they tried to create their own state, and their state was either already called Deseret before they applied for statehood, or that's what they were going to call it if they were granted statehood, which of course they did not ever get their own state. But the area they lived in for a long time, they called it Deseret. And so that's what this is, Deseret Industries, more commonly referred to as the DI. There are actually a couple of Mormons that knock on my door quite regularly, and they come in and hang out for a little while and just chat video games. You know, kind of, they stop by our place to take a little break, I guess, in the middle of the day and just chat about cool stuff. And we're very welcoming here. You know, we're not very religious here, but we will hang out for sure and talk video games with anybody who wants to. And they refer to this place as DI, which is much easier to say. So we have taken to calling this place DI. Much easier shortcut, just like the bins. Every time you go to a Goodwill bins, it's called a clearance center. It's called an outlet store. They have different names all over the United States. Just Google it. You'll see a ton. But we just call it the bins because it's a lot easier. I love a shortcut. But today was a great day for video games because I got a stack of games from both of the first two stops, and today's going to be no different. Look at all this stuff. There's a lot of junk in there. There's a lot of doubles of games that I already have, which is really always funny to see when there's just like 6 copies of Wii Fit or 6 copies of Wii Draw. But there is some good stuff tucked in here. There is that little cardboard sleeve of Link's, what is it, bow training, something like that. And I keep not buying it because that's a pack-in with a peripheral. With that, you know, there's a box that comes with the bow and with that disc. And I'm just waiting to find the whole thing. So I haven't bought that yet, but I see it all the time. There was a game in there, a monster truck game that I already have because somebody, one of our viewers, mailed it in. And I've got it sitting on top of my Wii, and I'm going to play it really soon. So there's no need to buy that bad boy. I've already got it. But there's a lot of stuff here that I had to think about, like Uncharted 2. I've already got it. I have it both in the Greatest Hits Edition and the regular edition, but I couldn't remember if I had the regular one, so I had to look that up. But sometimes you guys notice that I miss stuff, and when that happens, it's usually because I'm in a pretty big hurry, and I've just got to get in the thrift store and get out and get an episode shot and get these games back home and get them filed away. And there's only so much time in a day, but some days I've got all the time in the world, and today is one of those days. So I'm going to set and definitely check the quality of all these discs and check them on my spreadsheet and see if I don't already have them. And I'm going to leave here with a pretty good stack today. But here's something that's really funny I wanted to show you guys. Look at all these Wii peripherals. And this was funny because right before I found these, someone on our Discord was talking about specific Wii peripherals and how hard some of them were to find. And I was like, well, bro, I'm not bragging, but I do want to show you how in a big town sometimes Wii peripherals are not hard to find. So I sent him a picture on the Discord of all of these, and we all just kind of laughed at it because half of us had never seen a Wiimote fishing rod. So that was really funny. If you like the sound of that kind of thing, go join our Discord. We chat about this kind of stuff constantly. It's a really good time. All right, guys, we're back in the game room, and I'm very excited about the stuff we got. Words don't describe how excited I am about a couple of these items. Let's start with what Hannah got, and then we'll talk about the stuff that I got.
So I got some dresses and some jeans and some jean dresses. So jean dress, little floral bottom on it, a little 90s action going on.
Is that one for you or for sale?
It's for sale. I can't quite fit in it.
Oh, well, it looks wide enough, but I guess it's a little short. For those of you who don't know, Hannah's a little bit tall. It's not even that she's tall; she's got really long legs. So
most things are a little inappropriate on me.
Yeah, a little too much leg.
But this one is for me. Another dress.
Oh, nice.
A little mustard fall colored. It's like a little, almost like Long John's material. It's like a knit. It's really nice and comfy.
It's a big mustard long john dress. That is what it looks like.
But it's like a little long sleeve, so good for fall, even though it doesn't really get that cold in Phoenix. So, oh well. I got a pair of really big Tommy jeans, which...
Oh, those are huge. Oh, are these the ones that we thought was going to fit me?
Yeah.
42-32s. Go ahead. Pause the video. Comment below. Do you think these pants will fit me? Just guess. 42s. Do I look 42-ish? We're going to try it. They might, but I don't know. I bet they're close. My hips are a little wide, though. I mean, they look all right.
Yeah.
Look at that butt.
Ooh.
Look at that butt. Yeah, but look, there's no way they're buttoned.
Oh no.
There's no way. I can't suck it in now. Yeah. So my waist size is actually pretty close to 42 if you take a measuring tape to it. But my hips are extra wide. So the pants don't often get all the way there. But we've been trying to find a pair of Tommies, a nice big pair of Tommies that fit me, but that so far has proven impossible.
One day. But Tommies are always really a good thing to pick up. People really love them right now when they have like the big
Hold on.
logo.
You know how you know when you're fat? When putting on a pair of pants wins you.
The last thing I got are a pair of Rocky jeans.
If you guys watching don't know what Rockies are yet, what are you doing? Because she buys a pair every episode.
I love them. They're just so glamorous.
They look like they might fit you too.
They might. They're big enough, I think. I never put on my stock because if I put on my stock, then I want to keep it and I won't sell it and we can't buy video games. So.
Well, we did buy video games today. Perfect segue. Well, a segue is no longer perfect when you point out the segue. But nonetheless, it was a good segue. So, I've got 2 stacks of games here, and I got some other stuff. Let's talk about the other stuff first. I got an AV cable for a N64 and/or Super Nintendo and/or GameCube. I have some stuff I want to take and trade in for a video here in a week or so, and I'm kind of short on cables, so I'm glad I found this. You get more money when you take the cables. And then, oh, I'm so excited about this. This 80s or 90s, probably 90s Wolverine. Words can't express how excited I am about this. If you go back to some of my earlier videos, there was a whole shelf of X-Men stuff over here. Most of them were these larger figures. I've got a Cyclops. It's the same exact color scheme. And I had to move those out to make room for video games. But I'm going to be putting them back because I've got more shelves now. But look at this. Look at this actuating mask. Oh my gosh. I love this so much. And I don't even remember exactly what series this was from. This was actually when I read comic books. Didn't understand them much because I was like 5 or 6, like I was really young. But I love it. But I can't wait to set that next to that Cyclops and it matches. Alright, 2 stacks of games, 2 handfuls, and I'm very excited about a few things that are in here. So let's just go through them in no particular order. Gran Turismo 3, A-Spec, and I already had this game, but I didn't have the Greatest Hits edition, so I picked that bad boy up. And then, this is sealed. It's not spectacular, but it is sealed, so that's not nothing. The Naked Brothers Band, the video game. Does anybody remember the Naked Brothers Band? Do you remember the Naked Brothers?
I do. I never watched it.
Test Drive, also one that I have, but didn't have the Greatest Hits edition. Here's one. Everybody comments every time I see these games in the wild and says some of them are valuable, so I've just been buying them all. NHRA Championship Drag Racing, and it's complete with manual. A couple of the last NHRA games that I bought didn't have their manuals, but this one does. This seems so funny to me. Get on the mic! We probably have to try this on our bad video games. You know what? No, we can't, because we'll get a copyright strike, because it's all music. Oh, I forgot about this. I got a jam pack today. Winter 2003 jam pack. This is a demo disc. And I have a very large number of them. I've never looked up how many of these there are. But I need to find out that number because I would love to have them all one day. And I've got a big stack of them right now. Next, Tourist Trophy. A motorcycle racing game. Another motorcycle racing game. Kawasaki Quad Bikes. Not a motorcycle game. But a four-wheeler game. And then this looks interesting. Comment below if you know anything about this and if I should play it. Fling Smash is very heavy. It's got a very weighted manual in it. All right. Another random Wii title, Smarty Pants. It's a trivia game. And then this. I actually saw this a couple more times after buying this in the wild. Elebits. What is this? Comment below if you know. Because it looks very interesting. I definitely am probably going to have to try this out.
It looks really cute.
Yeah, it looks kind of goofy. Alright, now a stack of other stuff. A bunch of PlayStation 1 games. Including... What is this? WWF Attitude. Get it. Actually, what is the actual title? Just Attitude. WWF Attitude. Get it is the tagline. Then this game I actually remember from my childhood. Cubics. Robots for Everyone. I think I actually had some Cubics toys. You remember that?
I remember those, yeah.
Motocross Mania. Another one. I forgot about this. IHRA Drag Racing. NASCAR 2000. And then SWAT for the PSP. A UMD. This is a movie. I've been buying these up like crazy. On yesterday's episode, I got one. I didn't even tell you about this. I got a copy of Halloween.
Really?
On the PSP UMD, and it's a little valuable. I mean, it's not anything to write home about, but it's worth a few bucks. FIFA 2000 for the PlayStation 1. I got a nice stack of PlayStation 1 games today. Cyber Tiger. This kind of was funny. Not PGA Tour. Cyber Tiger. And then I can't read this one. Burstrick Wakeboarding. Look at that font. Looks like graffiti. And then here's a game. I've bought this twice this week. And that's because it takes me a little while to write stuff down on my spreadsheet. So sometimes if I find something the second time in a week. At the beginning of this, it wasn't so hard to remember. I could kind of keep it all straight. But it's getting to where it's so many games. But it's okay. This one didn't have its manual, and I paid even less for this one. Paid $1.50 for it. I paid $2 for the one I bought like the day after, or day before, day after this. So it's all fine. I'll just take that in and trade it in for 20 cents or something. But that's it. That's a stack of games. Guys, leave us a comment below. Let us know what's your favorite thing that we got today. What was your favorite thing?
Can it be one of your items?
Sure can.
I think it's really cool.
It is pretty cool. I'm super happy about it. Do you remember the X-Men cartoon?
No.
You don't?
No.
At all? Man, I remember my brother had pretty much exclusively X-Men comic books. That was his thing. And I would read them. Again, I said this earlier, but like I was young. I was like 6, 7. And I was an avid reader. The only thing I was ever advanced at as a kid was reading and reading retention. So like I read comic books and I was like, oh, this is crazy. And then I remember a few years later, I was like 9 or 10, and that X-Men cartoon came on. And I was like, this is just, it was so close to actually being the comic books in strange ways. I was always like, I know what's happening. Like, I know what's going to happen. And I thought that was crazy as a 8 or 9, 10-year-old. Just like knowing what was going to happen because I read it. I read the source material. I felt really cool. And that began a long, 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 long love story of me and X-Men. I love all things X-Men. That's why I got it. Of course, you don't like it because of that. You just like it because he looks cool.
He does look cool.
And he has actuated glasses.
That's the only reason I like it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's my favorite too. A couple of these IHRA games are cool. And if Elebits is fun, that might be fine of the day because it does look a little fun. But yeah, we'll say this is our favorite. Leave us a comment below. Let us know what your favorite thing that we got was. Also, guys, do me a favor before you leave. Run over to my Discord. Why do I keep talking about Discord? Why do I keep asking you to join it? Well, because we chat with our viewers over there. And our viewers chat with each other. Every day I wake up, that Discord is popping. Guys and girls are showing stuff that they bought at the thrift store today or yesterday. And the rearranging they're doing at their game room is pretty awesome. You should be a part of it. Also, before you go, guys, run over to our Twitch page and hit that follow button. Listen, it's no secret to anybody that we're playing video games, right? So now instead of finishing this video and just playing video games here in this dark room by myself, eating Cheetos with no shirt on, I'll put my shirt on, I'll leave the Cheetos in the kitchen, and we'll just go live, right? It's just the perfect time to go live and chat with you guys, whoever has time to come by. So, links below, go over to our Twitch, follow it, come chat sometime. Here on YouTube, though, This is the most important thing because we are climbing in viewers. We're about to hit 600 subs as of posting this video. Hit that subscribe button. And if you hit the subscribe button, hit that bell notification also, because you'll get a notification that tells you when I've posted a video. And when I've posted a video, you can come back and hang out with us then. But until then, guys, peace out.